Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm back with another video. Been really enjoying the videos there. I know there's a few new people that have joined the community. That's fantastic. I got a bunch of records that I've gotten since my last video, and also just some from the stacks that I wanted to share. Actually, some sort of answering the debut album question that's been going around. In the background, just so you guys know, is Robert Fripp, League of Gentlemen. So if you like what you're hearing, I don't know how much you can hear it, but it's really good stuff. Okay, so first of all, before I get into the records, I got this book a while back at a record store here in town it's called The Gimmicks. It's basically like just odd records. Basically, it's like just collects all these odd records that were used, for example, as stamps. Like you actually could send a record as a stamp and then play it when it arrived to you, like with a personal message on it and stuff. But this really caught my eye, and I know that we always go on about how great the packaging is in records and stuff. But can you imagine that if you got sent a record or you bought a record that could actually play itself? So I'll show you it's called the mechanical single. See if we could get that there. Mechanical single. And so basically it plays itself. I'll read it to you here. A plastic record is fixed to a piece of cardboard functioning as a membrane. The needle is then set down on the record, which has to be turned by hand. Polydor in Switzerland issued this mechanical single as a Christmas novelty on the occasion of their 100th anniversary. Possibly the only record which can be played without a record player. So I just wanted to share that. I thought that was really, really interesting. You put your finger, I think, let me see if I can get this right. You put your finger there and turn the record and play it that way. So anyways, it's pretty interesting. I thought that was really neat, so I just wanted to share that. Okay, so on with the records. I picked up the Rolling Stones' Love You Live. I love this record. I didn't have it before. I have quite a lot of Rolling Stones records, but this is their first, I don't know if it's their first actually, but it was released in 1977. I think it's their third live release actually. One half of it was recorded in Paris and the other half was recorded in Toronto, Canada, which is really interesting to me, being from Canada. And Billy Preston plays piano on this, and Andy Warhol did the artwork, which is there's a little bit more of it. Another interesting thing, when they played in Canada, April Wine opened for them, and they recorded a live recording also from that time period. So, anyways, great record, fantastic record actually. And next up we get the Count Basie Trio. This would be a must-have as far as I'm concerned in jazz records. This is just killer, like really. Ray Brown and who else? I can't even remember now. But oh, it's such a good record. 1974 on Pablo Records. For the First Time is the name of it. I know it's like I've been really getting into Joe Strummer. Like, it's funny to go from Joe Strummer and then go back to the Clash. Of course I've heard the Clash, but I didn't have any of their records, and I happened to find this one. I picked this one up, Combat Rock. That was recorded in 1974, and it's a very, very good album. It's like, oh man, I don't know. It's a really great record. I noticed too, like Straight to Hell, I believe it was sort of sampled by MIA in oh, what's the name of that tune? All I Want to Do Is, you know. Anyway, it's good. It's a really good record. The next record I got was Wings, At the Speed of Sound. I'm not really familiar with Paul McCartney's solo stuff, but I really, really like that song, Someone's Not, or Let 'Em In, I guess it's called. That's one of my favorite tunes that I've heard Paul McCartney do as a solo. So, anyways, this was released in 1976. And I also picked up another Neil Young record that I didn't have in my collection. This one is Zuma. It was released in 1975. Reportedly to be one of the best by many of the Neil Young aficionados out there in YouTube land. I think it is too. Like, it's definitely fantastic. I mean, how can you go wrong with Cortez the Killer? I mean, and amongst other tunes on here too. I haven't really had a chance to listen to it too much, but I'm looking forward. I really like the similar artwork there on the sleeve too, which is really interesting. So that's Neil Young, Zuma. And when talking about debut albums on YouTube lately, somebody's got a thread going around. I think that this is, I mean, it goes without saying, it's definitely one of the best debut records. Talking Heads, 77. Just amazing. It's got Psycho Killer, Cascade, David Byrne right there. And so, you know, I mean, I think he wrote all of the songs on here. I mean, it's good. It's a great record. Their first compilation record that the Rolling Stones released. This is released in 1966. Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass, Rolling Stones. This is the American pressing on London. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, and that's the back of it. The Boys in the Forest. And yeah, so this is really fantastic. I mean, I don't know. I'm on a big Stones kick lately. I just love listening to them. Next up, we got Best of Lord Buckley. I don't know if many of you know Lord Buckley, but he is an American. He was like a hip comic poet sort of thing. He influenced Bob Dylan and Tom Waits actually. So you know, and he was like you know, very famous in the 60s for coming out and smoking pot like publicly and stuff. And this was released in 1969, and I do believe it's really quite rare. And there's Jesus holding 2 joints. So the Best of Lord Buckley, definitely an obscure classic, I would consider actually. All right, another excellent debut album is Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. This is really easy to find. They were released like in large numbers, and highly recommend that you pick this up. It's very experimental for its time. It was released in 1973. It's on Virgin Records. The album work on the front was inspired by René Magritte, who is a surrealist painter. So anyways, this is a great record. This one here was just in my collection, but it's one of the ones I really wanted to share. It's 10 years after. It was released in, the record's called Shh. I wasn't telling you it's the Shh. Anyways, it was released in 1969, I believe. Yeah, it's their 4th album. And, oh, it's really good. It's got an amazing version of, look at that, eh? Ooh. It's got an amazing version of Sonny Boy Williamson's Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. Great record, great record. Highly pick that up if you see it. If you like psych, if you like blues, anything. And the last record in the collection for this video is Steve Hillage, who is a guitarist in a band called Gong. And this is his debut record, and this is really hard to find, but this is called Fish Rising. And it was released in 1975, and I shit you not, it's probably one of the most psychedelic, most wacky records I've ever heard in my life. If you ever get a chance to pick this up, please do, because it will not disappoint. It's a great record. Anyways, pick it up. Pick a lot of these records up if you see them, if you don't already have them in your collection. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. I look forward to your comments. And on all honesty, it's what keeps me going, the interaction between everybody that collects records. And welcome to all the new people coming to the community and stuff. And it's great to keep this stuff going. So we'll see you next time, guys. See ya!